No preseason snaps. No touchdown drives in prime time. No welcome to the NFL moment yet. And still, somehow, Shedeur Sanders has the Browns training camp in a chokehold. Veterans are buzzing. Teammates are rallying. Coaches are pretending they haven't noticed, but they have. And the media, they've gone from interesting fifth-round pick to he might actually be him in just a matter of days. And now, with names like Myles Garrett and Jeudy casually backing him in interviews and sideline whispers, it's becoming crystal clear. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. Shedeur Sanders isn't auditioning anymore. He's taking over. The unspoken shift from second-team filler to first-team vibe. Let's not ignore the facts. Shedeur hasn't been officially promoted. The depth chart still says second team. The coaches are still playing the rep distribution game, keeping things democratic. But let's be honest. When your second-string QB is going toe-to-toe with the starting defense and throwing darts while running with the twos, that's not just developmental work. That's a litmus test. And Sanders? He's passing it with flying colors. You could hear it in the defensive huddles. We gotta tighten up. He's hitting everything. That's not something the first-team defense says lightly, especially when that first team includes Myles Garrett, one of the most dominant pass rushers in the league. Garrett doesn't hand out compliments like Halloween candy. So when he looks over during practice and tells a reporter, the kid's got something, you don't dismiss it. You write it down. Because Myles Garrett is not in the business of hyping quarterbacks unless they earn it. Jeudy didn't need to say much. Then there's Jeudy, who may only be months into his Browns tenure, but already understands the difference between camp buzz and real juice. During a light moment after practice, Jeudy was asked a softball question about how the team's rookies were progressing. He could have given the usual canned answer, but instead, he paused, looked toward the field where Shedeur had just wrapped up a red zone drill with back-to-back touchdowns, and said, "Y'all see what Shedeur's doing, right? Ain't no rookie stuff about it." That's the moment the shift became real. Because when a star wide receiver, who's played with a lot of quarterbacks, casually endorses a rookie like that, it means something. It signals that the players aren't waiting for the coaching staff's permission to respect Shedeur. They're already there. Confidence, not cockiness. The Sanders swagger. What separates Shedeur Sanders from the typical rookie quarterback isn't just his footwork or his accuracy or even his football IQ. It's the way he carries himself. He walks like he belongs, talks like he's been here for years, commands a huddle like a seasoned pro, and it's not fake bravado. This is a byproduct of growing up under the harshest spotlight in college football, handling nil scrutiny, being coached and challenged by one of the greatest athletes of all time, and still coming out of all sharp, grounded, and unshaken. When you see Shedeur run a 2-minute drill, it's not frantic, it's surgical. He doesn't just react to pressure, he anticipates it, adjusts protections, communicates calmly with receivers. And when the play breaks down, he doesn't panic. He improvises. You can't teach that. And when a player brings uncoachable qualities into a room full of seasoned pros, the room notices. From brand to ball, why Shedeur is a cultural force. There's another layer to all of this, and it's where Shedeur breaks the mold. He's not just a quarterback. He's already a brand, a movement, a media-savvy, self-built figure who's as comfortable sitting down with a sports analyst as he is breaking down coverages. Some might roll their eyes at that. He's too polished, too media-ready, too focused on the off-field stuff. But here's the thing. He's still showing up and dominating on the field. His throws aren't sponsored. His reads aren't edited. His presence in the pocket isn't filtered through Instagram. The brand is loud, sure, but the ball is even louder. And in today's NFL, where quarterbacks are expected to be both CEOs and game changers, Shedeur's the rare rookie who's already both. That's why it's not surprising that fans are photoshopping him into Browns jerseys, turning his practice clips into viral edits, and referring to him as QB1 on social media, before he's even taken a preseason snap. Why the vets are rallying. Let's be clear, this team has been through it at quarterback. In just the past few years, Browns players have been asked to get behind a carousel of QBs. Some overhyped, some underperforming, some just flat out disappointing. They've seen guys flame out, fold under pressure, or lose the locker room entirely. So when a young, poised, unshaken quarterback comes in and earns respect, actually earns it, the response is immediate. That's why the veterans are responding to Shedeur. Not because he's loud, not because he's flashy, but because he's reliable. He's consistently sharp in drills. He communicates. He listens. He adjusts. He doesn't shrink when the defense comes at him. He doesn't make excuses when a rep goes sideways. He just keeps delivering. That's the kind of energy a team rallies around. Not out of obligation, but out of belief. The Browns QB curse. Broken? You don't need a deep dive into Cleveland's history to understand that quarterback stability has been a mythical unicorn in this franchise's past. For decades, the Browns have cycled through every type of quarterback imaginable. Veteran stopgaps, overhyped rookies, reclamation projects, game managers, run-first freak athletes. And yet, here they are in 2025, potentially sitting on a fifth-round rookie who, if allowed to take over, might just be the one who breaks a pattern. Shedeur doesn't just have the tools. He has the intangibles. He's not playing for headlines. He's playing with a quiet urgency, a sense that every rep matters, that he's not just trying to make the team. He's building something. The Browns have seen flashes before, but this feels different. This feels sustainable. What happens now? Here's the tough part for the Browns. They can't ignore it anymore. Not after this week. Not after Myles Garrett, Jeudy, and other veterans have basically endorsed Shedeur without needing to be prompted. Not after the offense looks more alive when he's at the controls. Not after the fan base is already emotionally invested in the idea of him taking the reins. The coaching staff can play coy. They can talk about rotations, about competition, about reps. But the locker room sees what's happening, and the front office hears the buzz. At this point, trying to deny Shedeur's rise would feel like trying to hold back a flood with a folding chair. He hasn't taken over officially, but unofficially, he's already there. Shedeur Sanders hasn't just shown up in Cleveland. He's arrived. And everyone, from Myles Garrett to Jeudy to the fans in the cheap seats, can feel it. The strange part is, this wasn't the plan. Not for Shedeur, not for the Browns. Certainly not for Dillon Gabriel, who was supposed to have the inside track as a developmental guy in this quarterback room. But NFL training camp doesn't care about plans. It cares about proof. And every day that Shedeur Sanders lines up behind center, the Browns are watching a fifth-round pick make a fool out of the concept of hierarchy. He's not just playing like he belongs. He's making it awkward to pretend he doesn't. Behind the scenes, what players are really saying. Training camp talk is normally guarded. Teammates are polite. Let's don't make waves. Everything is business as usual. But when the cameras are off and the media is gone, that's when the real conversations happen. And right now, behind closed doors, Shedeur is all anyone's talking about. Some players are impressed. Some are surprised. Some are just flat out amused that the kid is this poised and this sharp already. But all of them are aligned on one thing. He's not just ahead of schedule. He's running it. One player reportedly joked that Shedeur practices like he's getting paid twice. And honestly, that might not be far off. Whether it's drills, scrimmages, or film study, Sanders is treating every moment like it's game day. And that's why guys like Jeudy and Myles Garrett aren't waiting for an official title to follow his lead. He's already walking like the face of the offense. So naturally, the rest of the team is starting to fall in behind him. Command of the huddle, respect in the locker room. Leadership isn't loud. It's not rah-rah speeches and pointing fingers. It's the quiet confidence that when things get messy, one guy still knows what he's doing. That's Shedeur. His huddle presence is calm. He makes eye contact, calls protections clearly, adjusts routes with a subtle signal or two, and most importantly, he listens. You'll catch him grabbing a receiver after a misconnection and asking, not telling. You good on that read? You saw the safety rotate, right? That's veteran behavior. That's not something you teach a rookie. That's something they either have or they don't. And when a 21-year-old quarterback is already quarterbacking off the field as well as on it, it changes the entire dynamic. The locker room sees it, and the coaching staff, they're trying really hard not to admit they see it too. The branding machine that works because it's backed by game. Let's address the elephant in the room. Shedeur is a normal fifth-round rookie because he didn't come into the NFL as an unknown. Thanks to his father, Coach Prime, and his wild success at Colorado, Shedeur already had a national audience before he ever touched a pro playbook. The NIL deals, the YouTube following, the watch sponsorships, they're all part of the package. Normally, that's a red flag. Coaches worry about distractions. GMs get itchy when a rookie quarterback has more followers than the franchise account. It's risky, but in Shedeur's case, the hype machine works because the football holds up under pressure. He's not a TikTok QB. He's not a manufactured image. He's a worker, a grinder, the guy who shows up first, leaves last, and still has time to keep his media empire humming because he's that disciplined. The flash only works because the foundation is real, and that scares teams in the best way possible because now you're not just developing a quarterback, you're managing a movement, the Browns' quarterback history, a legacy of missteps. To fully understand how radical Shedeur's emergence is, you have to understand the Browns' long, painful relationship with quarterbacks. Cleveland's QB carousel is the stuff of legend. So many names, so little consistency. Every year, a new promise. Every season, a new disappointment. From first-round flameouts to short-term veterans who couldn't stay healthy or keep the locker room, it's been a revolving door of regret. So when a player like Shedeur comes along, one who looks not just competent, but revolutionary, it hits different. He's not the next in line. He might be the last one they need to get right, which is why every practice rep feels like a referendum on the front office's judgment. Are they brave enough to break the cycle, or will they keep playing the depth chart game while the future stares them in the face? Why the coaching staff is nervous. Kevin Stefanski and his staff aren't fools. They know what they're seeing. They know that if they let Shedeur continue to dominate reps with the second team, it's only a matter of time before the calls for him to start become impossible to ignore. But it's a political dilemma. 2, they already spent a third-round pick on Dillon Gabriel. There are guys in the building who back that move. Benching him in favor of a fifth-rounder before preseason even begins? That's not just a change in strategy. It's a shot to the ego of the decision-makers. And yet, can you really afford to sit Shedeur when he's clearly better? That's the quiet war playing out behind closed doors. Do we protect our pride? Or do we win football games? Because those two goals are starting to diverge in Cleveland. The players know the truth. The biggest test of any quarterback isn't the film. It's not the stats. It's not even the scrimmages. It's the way the team reacts when he's in control. Are the linemen communicating more clearly? Are the receivers energized? Does a huddle look sharper, more confident, more alive? With Shedeur, the answer is yes. Every time. You see it when a backup receiver hauls in a tight window dart and turns to Shedeur like he just caught a pass from Aaron Rodgers. You hear it when defensive players, despite getting beat, walk past him on the sideline with a smirk and a muttered, "Nice throw." That's not rookie treatment. That's franchise quarterback treatment. And it's already happening. The ripple effect. What happens if the Browns don't act? Here's the scary part for Cleveland. If they wait too long to hand Shedeur the keys, they risk doing long-term damage. Not just his momentum, but to the trust of the team. This locker room knows what it looks like when the wrong guy is behind center. They've lived it. And if they start to feel like the better player is being held back by politics, they'll never fully buy into the plan. That's how rifts begin. That's how coaches lose locker rooms. Not because of losses, but because of dishonesty. If you ask players to give everything they've got, but don't reward the guy who's clearly outplaying everyone, they start asking questions. And that's when the cracks show. No turning back. The Browns can try to slow play this. They can keep Shedeur as the exciting second option. They can hand-wave the hype as preseason noise. But deep down, they know the truth. The team knows it. The fans know it. The veterans have said it. Shedeur Sanders has already stepped into the role of a leader long before anyone was ready. And you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. not when the energy's shifted, not when the players have chosen a side, not when the kid hasn't even played a game yet. And he's already become the gravitational force of the entire franchise. It's not about who starts week 1 anymore.